Hey, Charlie, how you doing, Charlie?
3, 2, 1, go. Aubrey, how are you?
Not great, not great.
The fuck happened to you? Actually, before you begin, well, I guess I'll let you speak first, but there's been something happening the last 2 months, and let's just say things went down on Saturday. Brian Knight is most likely going to come after every asset like he's never come before. Let's just say deception. Nothing is as ever as it seems, Mr. Albrecht. Anyway, what's the matter?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because that's actually why I'm here.
Who? Brian Knight.
That's right, Mr. Brian Knight. That motherfucker.
Let me guess, you breathing down your neck. It's coming off, do you know? What is it?
No, it's actually quite the opposite. Well, let's just say today, one of my gang members met up with him at the airport, and out of the blue, he tells him, just out of the blue, he says to him, "Oh, I got told that Ford sells mags." I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. How would he say that, right? And then he pulls over another one of my gang members and tells him, I got told Ford sells mags. Twice in one day, he's just telling my gang members that I sell mags. Or he got told that I sell mags. So I think to myself, okay, there's something definitely strange going on here, right? There's some real strange happening. So I get my phone, you know what I'm saying? I'll give Brian Knight a phone call. Ask him, Brian Knight, what's going on with these absolute false accusations you're spreading about my name? And that's when he mentions Brandon Valentino. No, I'll be real with you, Charlie. The story he gave me was real. Was all over the place. He dropped a bunch of information on me, and I don't know. Like it was real confusing. I am gonna lie. But anyway, he said he said that Brandon Valentino used to be a CI or an informant or pretended to be an informant, and that he stabbed him. He said that Brandon Valentino told him I sell mags. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Right? Why the hell would Brandon do that? And he didn't stop there. He said that all these gangs are handholding, and he brought up Misha, he brought up Ray Romanov, and they said they all come to him with information. And all those guys are assets, right?
You know, almost just have to feel sorry for that man, Brian Knight. Grasping at fucking straws. Listen, I don't know how many conversations you both had with the boss. There is something that he always says. We are always 10 steps ahead. So let me tell you something that no one knew. Not even some assets till today in about 2 hours. There's going to be a fat meeting, no pun intended, with assets that were directly involved for the last 2 months. You need to accept that phone call.
No.
For the last 2 months, there's been a plan in motion for deep deception. For the last 2 months, Brandon Valentino made it seem like he was a snitch. He ruined his own reputation. A lot of assets all thought this man was a snitch. Everybody thought he was. For the last 2 months, he's been all buddy-buddy with Brian Knight, feeding him fake information, setting up an asset in Silas. Now here's the thing. All of that was planned. The things that he said had nothing to do with whatever you just discussed. Magazines. The information that he was given to tell is very, how could I put this? Info that doesn't matter. On
Right, so here's
Saturday,
my problem. Here's my
1
problem.
second, let me finish over. On Saturday, 7 assets looked for Brian Knight, kidnapped him, took him to a hidden extraction point. He was then met with me. Me and Brandon did a double body switch. Brandon unmasked himself, and everybody was in total fucking shock. And that man was then stabbed, blood leaking. He thought he was ahead of everything. He thought that there was a gift for him, that Brandon actually gave him valuable information. That was very clear what's happening. He tried to spin the narrative that the information Brandon gave, well, searching out assets and suppliers, I can tell you that is completely not true. Which leads me to my next point. You keep up with the news, Aubrey.
Somewhat.
Or while we were doing this hidden plan that only 4 people in the entire city knew about, they also unraveled actual rats. You see, in the City Chronicle edition 50, there was an article, Faceless, Masters of the Underworld, and they talk in detail about weapon suppliers, not names, not locations, but they talk in detail how we operate. Meaning, there really is a rat. It isn't Brandon. But other assets, I brought this to their attention when this news dropped. Let's just say everybody's become more on their guard, you could say. Let me ask you, do you hide yourself when you sell magazines, or is it knowledgeable? What I mean by that, are you discreet with how you do business?
Here's the thing, Charlie, right? I don't hide myself. We're not discreet. But the only people we do business with are other gangs and other criminal organizations, right? Those are the only people I strictly sell mags to. Now, also have the shop. And the shop receives a lot of foot traffic. You know, anyone can walk in there, buy something. A lot of illegal stuff in there. Now, if any one of those people would have snitched, they wouldn't go to the police and say, oh, Ford sells mags. They would go to the police and say Ford sells illegal guns, Molotovs, all types of stuff, right? That's what's in there. There's a lot of stuff in there, not just mags. The reason I believe it's a gang that told Brian Knight something is because it's specifically mags. Nothing else but mags. The only people I specifically deal mags with are other gangs.
Like I said, the last couple of weeks have unraveled a lot of rats. Actual rats. Everybody fell for the bait. All the cops, all the marshals, even all the assets. Thought Brandon was a real snitch. Let me ask you, Dante, does he buy and sell from you? Merchants? Does he know you supply magazines?
Yeah, they do.
Dante Rose?
Yeah, I'm pretty
He
sure they
does.
do.
Well, I'm about to open your horizon, boys. Like I said, we've been very fucking busy. Frank, Nora, the people of the news article, they had a group called Echo. Echo was a group gathering information and trying to take the Faceless fucking down. A bunch of fucking civilians. Now in that group, Echo was Dante. Dante Rivers, the boss, invited Dante to this very room and made him understand that what he's doing makes no sense. Dante's Rivers' purpose is to buy and sell. That's his whole group. The merchants, they buy off people like you and they sell. So the boss made him understand, why the fuck are you part of a group trying to take your fucking supplier down? Doesn't make any sense. Let's just say Dante chose the right decision. However, that conversation was before this article. So if there's anybody on our radar, it's people like Dante Rivers. The man who was part of a group called Echo, with Frank and Nora and Donna Kane.
Shit.
Probably there's a lot you've missed over the last couple of weeks. Let's just say we've been knocking on everybody's fucking door. People have been dying. Edgar burned alive. Dante nearly executed until he made the right fucking decision. Tommy,
Dante's on the right side now.
Well, so he
Let me
claims
ask you
to
a
be.
question. How likely was it that Dante's the one that spread that information about me?
Very likely. This man was tapped into the criminal underworld. At the same time, he was part of a group called Echo, trying to take the Faceless down. They made a whole news article. So, you're waiting for the reveal to happen with Brandon. There's a massive meeting taking place in about an hour and a half. Then, we go after the real fucking rats. Because Dante Shaw, he said to the boss, he understands now. He left that group. That doesn't mean he never did what you're saying. That doesn't mean he never went to Frank and Nora and made this article.
All I know is somebody snitched on me.
I mean, it's not just you, judging by how this is written. It's like they know the ins and outs of the way things are run when it comes to the weapons distro. But then, a lot of people are also not discreet. I'll tell you what, they make one call. This just came up with the matter, and they mentioned someone called Leon. Well, I just realized. Why you free? Come to the echelon. Can you bring Steve as well? Okay. I understand there's some friction with you and this gang, but I'm sure nothing will happen here.
Man, you're bringing like the bottom of the barrel up here. You know what I mean, Charlie?
No. It's actually quite funny that Brian Ladd is choosing to do this, and just so I understand, he specifically name dropped Brandon Valentino is the man that said this information.
Well, he said multiple people told him stuff. He said there's a bunch of people hand-holding telling him stuff. You know, I don't like motherfuckers hand-holding. You know what I mean, Charlie?
Listen, I can assure you that Brian Knight just got played 2 months of information that was planted by the Faceless. Now it looks like he's trying to just spread random information, but you're not really
Well,
wrong.
it's most definitely not random information. It's the correct information.
Well, like I
So
just said, you're not wrong.
somewhere between, I don't know if there was information planted. I don't know what happened, but he got the right information somehow.
But that's the thing. If you were discreet, and this came about, I would understand. Then something's very wrong. But you're telling me no random criminal or someone that isn't tapped in wouldn't think you sell magazines? Just so I understand. Because then the crosshairs will be at Dante.
Well, I'll say this: it's a lot more likely. Like I said before, any random motherfucker would think I sell a bunch of things, right? Like I said, I own the pawn shop, and everyone's been in that pawn shop. Anyone could go in there and snitch. I'm not stupid, right? That could happen. But the likelihood of somebody going and saying that I strictly only deal magazines, or that's the information he's received, I'm led to believe it has to be another gang. It's the likelihood of it being another gang. It's very high, rather than a random motherfucker. I ain't got no connections, no ties.
Well, the only person I can think of would be Dante. If you say he knows what you do, this man was a part of a fucking group named Echo. And let's just say the Echoes are silenced. Frank and Nora came in to die last week, and they made the right decision. Let's just say the boss made it very clear that you don't live fucking double lives in our city. You don't go into be this innocent civilian writing news articles, but then behind closed doors try to play vigilante like you're fucking Batman. You don't have one foot on the gas and one hand on the fucking fire. That's not what you do. That was said to everybody in that group. And Dante, the more you're speaking, the more I think the crosshairs are on Dante. Give me one moment.
I don't know what you think.
I mean, why would Dante do it though? If he's getting shit, right? It's like we wouldn't go out of our way because
I
I
ain't
mean,
gonna
you know,
lie.
we
Yeah,
get.
yeah, he had like everything ready. You know what I'm saying? He had like, you know what I mean? If I were to bring, like, he had all of it ready.
Yeah, like you knew.
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, shit. You could always
I
ask for
don't
that
know.
bomb. I
I
mean,
don't
SK
know.
and Steve battle or walking in.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, he had it all ready. If I could even say something, he was speaking about Brian Knight.
But stay. The reason why I brought you both here, Brian Knight, Lacey went to Arbery and said he sells a certain item that not many people know except those who are tapped in and gangs. Remember we had this discussion about there being a rut. That wasn't Brandon. Let's talk about it in front of Arbery. What are the names you mentioned? Who are the ones that called you randomly asking for weapons and things like that?
Me personally was Leon. Was it Leon Bailey? DJ? Was
Leon
that his name?
Edwards.
Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards.
You guys know who Leon Edwards is?
The guy in the
Mm,
UFC.
I recognize the name.
It is that guy. He's kind of washed nowadays, but he's the Cyprus leader nowadays.
Mm.
This guy has form. He stood on the stand against SK in an actual trial. So he has the form for it, and he's not someone we've ever dealt with before. Then all of a sudden he wants to buy 50 deagles.
It was
Let me
weird
ask
timing
you-
for us too because I had just been kind of tipped off that Brian Knight knows everything about this whole operation, and then not even 5 minutes later, he's calling me for the first time ever, asking for deagles.
I actually didn't even know about that. That is very perfect timing. You guys know about the news article that was published on the 15th edition, correct?
Yeah.
Well, I'll read it. Apparently not many people know what he specifically sells. Brian Knight went up to him and told him. My crosshairs was on Dante. I don't know if you guys know this, you probably do. But Dante was part of a group called Echo that was trying to take the Faceless down. That man also bought from you, as you know, and also other suppliers. But then you mentioned Leon Edwards, a man that I've kept tabs on. A man that was trying to spy on Edgar and Brandon. I saw him parachute off a bridge. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. The same man that keeps knocking at this door, giving the boss information about cameras. Let's talk about it actually. A couple months back, there's a warehouse that not many assets even know about, down at the docks. At that time, Cyprus, Cuddles, Brandon, Irish, a few pseudo criminals and a gang knew about that warehouse. A week later, there was a camera planted directly there. Guess who tipped the boss off? Leon Edwards. And it's funny because not many people know that is a Faceless-related warehouse, except for Cyprus. And all those solo criminals that I've named. Irish wouldn't do such things. Cuddles. Well, she's in her own world half the time, and Brandon, well, he wasn't a snitch at that time. So Aubrey, what I'm trying to say is, that on real, there is a fucking rat. The issue is whom. Leon's been a very sus person over the last few weeks. Razor of eyebrows with the assets. Actually, well, someone with more information. Named Fred. He should be here to discuss. Well, he's not here right now, unfortunately. Aubrey, what do you make of this?
I think it's sickening.
I mean, I don't think he knows what's going on.
Right. He comes to the echelon quickly. A farm. They're discussing a real rat. Maybe Dante, maybe Leon Edwards, and I know you have more info on Leon, correct? A farm. Come to the echelon. Without me going into too much detail, the last 2 months have unraveled a lot of things, Aubrey. A lot of real rats, a lot of fake disloyalties within this organization. Stian Cooper, I know there is something you don't know just yet, and that will be revealed in about an hour. Let's just say the last 2 months have been, well, I put it like this, boys. Brian Knight is going to come fucking knocking for everybody linked with the Faceless. Let's just say we hurt that man's ego and pride directly. Made him fucking bleed. I know you guys are best friends, chit chat. I'm waiting for Frank to arrive.
It's good.
Sickening.
What do you say, Frank?
Man.
Fucking hell, he was quick.
How you doing? Over there.
Must live next door, him.
Right.
It's good, Fred.
Y'all could adjust yourself a little bit.
Good, bro.
Appreciate it.
Right. Long story short, Brian Knight went up to Aubrey and specifically told him what he may sell. And Aubrey had stated that only people that are tapped in within the criminal underworld, like gangs, etc., know exactly what he sells. There's a snitch amongst this criminal empire. Now, as you know, a couple of weeks back when the news dropped about the Faceless underworld, we had our concerns about individuals. Right now we're talking about Leon Edwards. Would you like to expand?
I mean, I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole if I'm being honest with everybody in this room. Yeah, motherfucker's untrustworthy as fuck. I think anybody who was with Cypress, whether it's him, whether it's Leon, whether it's
Fuck it, I
all
might
those
just go
people,
and snitch.
I wouldn't trust them at all. They would work with the cops back then. They'll work with them now.
You see, I personally think it's Dante.
What's on the cops? What everybody sells?
Well, he is part of the merchants, which is someone that Dante used to buy directly from the manor, the Beagles, and other suppliers. It only makes sense that it is Dante. but it could be some other people. As you know, though, Dante and Leon, like you said to me one day, they also have a tight relationship, don't they? Right.
Yeah, and
Well,
they lied to me about it. They said they weren't really close, and then they told Andre some other shit. They basically said they're as close as anybody could be.
just to put in perspective about the lie, too, a Cyprus member was the owner of the guild's shop. If they're saying they don't know each other, then you know, it kind of gives it away. I won't go into our business too much, but Dante has form for fucking over people who are trying to help him. Even as like recent as today.
Did I tell you both about Dante being in his room with the boss and he made the right decision?
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't mean he didn't snitch before, right? I believe that article came up before the boss had the conversation. Clearly, someone that knows things is obviously talking. That could be anybody tied within gangs, but the main suspect that I feel is Dante. But also Leon, as you know, has been very sus. I mean, like you said, Steve, he randomly called you days after you found out Brian knows a lot of information.
Minutes.
What's somewhat interesting, this may not correlate, but the timing is very interesting. I had a kind of meeting with Dante today about him maybe stepping away from some of the illegal stuff he does.
It's interesting timing.
Yeah. Very
Steve, when
interesting
did you get
timing.
found out that Brian Knight knows a lot of information?
It was before we had this whole discussion with about Leon and stuff. When you met me on the beach that time, it was that day.
Barely a month ago.
Yeah.
Now I understand what's happening right now. Now it makes sense why Brian Knight is choosing now to do what he did. Because he was fucking stabbed on Saturday. Listen, I wanted to say this. Well, I wanted the boss to say this. Actually, I'm not going to say it. I'll let the boss say it. But just know that nothing you see is as it seems, Steve and Cooper.
Nothing you see is
Aubrey.
as it seems.
It could be Dante, it could be Leon, or it could be any fucking gang member of these gangs. I mean, then again, who knows? Dante could have told his gang and one of his gang members went and told the cops. But with the relationship with Dante and the news company, and then the news publishing that article, if the shoe fits,
Yeah, Frank
shoot
and
does
Dante are
fit.
very close.
Well, I don't care if it was Dante, Leon Edwards, one of the assets. Once I find out, you know what I'm saying, Charlie gonna be dealt with, no matter what.
Don't trust me. Let's just say if we did something to a... You know what, let me not speak too much because Steve and Cooper are not in the know just yet. I don't want to speak over the boss. But yes, you're not wrong. Once we find this actual fucking rat, every gang leader, every gang member, every person that is an asset is all going to line up, have this man in the middle, and put a bullet through his fucking skull. The question is who? I'm reading this article, and I quote, "It seems that some of the more powerful and trusted assets control magazines, as criminals from all over the city will come to them directly." But here's what doesn't make sense. Dante never even had a conversation with the Faceless until off recent. So how would they know things like trusted assets? How would they know that trusted assets controlled magazines? That's my question.
Wait, so who wrote the book?
Frank and Nora, the news company.
And where they at?
It's funny, they're actually coming here in 15 minutes for a dinner party. I believe the man, the boss, is going to execute them, potentially. Perfect fucking timing, I must say.
Perfect timing.
I don't know if you were listening earlier, Ming, but Frank and Nora, the people of the news, they were part of a group called Echo.
Yeah.
Their focus was to take us down.
But could you not just like kind of retrace the steps and figure out who gave them the information to write the article?
Well, here's the thing. We can easily black bag and kidnap Frank and Nora and find out who told them that, if they have a source. That might be the only angle to get the definite answer. Now the boss has made it very clear that they do not live double lives. There is no Echo anymore. But if Brian Knight is coming to fucking assets and saying things like that, I think the boss needs to stop being too kind to Frank and Nora and make me fucking unleashed.
Who is Frank and Nora?
What were you going to say, Cooper?
Oh, I was gonna say the interesting thing is every single person you've mentioned so far either used to be or is connected with Cyprus. They all know, they all been in a group together in the past, you know.
Yeah, they're the one that
Frank
wrote the
is
article.
also-
And they're part of Echo or
Sorry,
something.
Frank and Frank used to be Cyprus, sorry.
Frank used to be well, he used to be yeah, he used to run their food stall and stuff. Leon used to be Cyprus. Oh, Leon is Cyprus still, I guess, but he used to be with them, and then Dante also used to be Cyprus.
I mean, between Leon and Dante, I'm leaning more toward Leon because Dante, he at least would have repercussions from, you know, say if Brian Knight went all the way and fucking whatever, he would have repercussions. Leon really wouldn't. He can just willy nilly say shit, and it's not gonna fuck up his business. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be honest, Dante sat from the boss and leaked every member of Echo. I believe he understands the power of this organization. He's not fucking stupid. But then again, he was stupid enough to even be a part of this Echo group in the first place. So who really fucking knows? But I think to get a definite answer, it will come from Frank and Nora. And they actually have a dinner scheduled here in 13 minutes with the boss. The thing about Frank and Nora, the thing that they never do is reveal their sources, so it won't come easy. So Aubrey, if you wish to know the actual truth, and everybody in this room, you're gonna have to go after Frank, unfortunately. When I say go after, I don't mean fucking kill the guy, but see if he understands that if he doesn't give up the source, well, let's hope he kissed his mother and father goodbye.
Yeah, if you go that way, I would take Dante at the same time. Frank cares a lot about Dante. You could use that against him.
What a shame, you know. I liked Frank. Used to rent a room from me back in the day.
Another paragraph. New assets are constantly being recruited, and useless ones are discarded. How would they even know that information? Interesting. I like Frank too. I mean, I paid him a visit for 7 days straight until he gave the correct answer to the boss. I mean, the boss likes Frank. There's about to be a dinner party here, but it might end bloody. But if it doesn't, he may do an operation where, well, you really make Frank give up his source, this article, because there you have your answer. Frank didn't randomly stumble across this information. He's obviously been fed this information. Frank, you don't think it's Dante, do you, at all? I mean, think about it. He was part of the same fucking group.
Yeah,
He also knows about service suppliers due to him being a part of the merchants.
You asked a question? I missed the beginning of that.
Yeah, I said you don't think it's Dante, do you?
I mean, nah, it could be. It could definitely be him. I just think between him and Leon, I'm leaning more towards Leon because he
I
can
think it's Frank.
literally do it. Dante at least
I think
will
it's
have
this guy.
repercussions when he's buying and shit like that. But I mean, it could be them. It could be realistically, it could be anybody. I mean, you never at that point. You know what I mean?
I mean, I will tell you one thing.
Fucking
the boss
Fred.
had an idea when this article hit. This Friday night, when he said Steve knows all these suppliers, when you knew that about a month ago, the boss had an idea to throw the entire investigation off. Well, by everybody giving their blueprints and everybody doing a fucking shuffle. Imagine that. Brian Knight thinks he has the magazine supplier, just for him to find out he sells something completely different. But I'll let the boss decide if he wants to go ahead with that handle.
Yeah, but we were undercover as
Robert.
FBI.
Listen, you have two names.
Yeah, we do. We're gonna find out.
Or should I say three? Dante, Leon, Frank. You know what? I might even ask the boss to see if he can get information in this dinner. I can assure you, Frank and Nora understand how, let's say, how far our reach is. Everybody else, you guys go for the meeting in about an hour.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, fun. And else you have to discuss Aubrey.
No, that's it. That's it.
I'll keep you in the loop in about an hour. Check your. Let's go through every asset. Check your network in about an hour. You'll be updated with something big. For those who do not know.
All right.
All right.
Ah, it's a shame I already like Frank and Nora. What did I say, Cooper?
I need to speak to you. I don't want to add it in front of people in case I'm wrong.
It was great seeing you, Charlie. Have a great day. All right.
You too, Mr. Aubrey. Like I said, check your network in about an hour.